Alrighty, what's up guys, Lethal Flux here, and today I'm bringing you another deck profile of a deck that I think is actually really unique, and it actually does not get recognized for how good it is. And that deck profile is going to be Cody's zombie deck.
What's up guys? Alright, so this is my zombie deck. You go 3 pyramid turtles running the main zombie engine here. 3 pyramid turtles, which can turn into 2 endless decays. Run 2 of them. They're really great to get out, especially when your opponent has 6,000 to 8,000 life points. Then their attack is somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000, so they're really great beaters. Then you run 3 blue-blooded Onis, and the reason why you run those is because there's a crazy combo with them. It's kind of like the wind-up loop status. And then you got the 2 zombie masters, because you absolutely have to need to run these guys, because they can start your combo without using one of the spell cards that you use to bring it out. So these guys set you up for really good plays, and then your opponent is going to waste their Veilers on zombie master, because that's the main face of the deck, especially since from what people used to know, since this deck is so under the radar. Alright, then you got 2 goblin zombies to search out most of your zombies, like zombie master for instance, or a endless decay if you need to add it to your hand, because you can special summon endless decay if you have 2,000 or less life points directly from your hand onto the field. So that's always a really good bonus right there. Then you run a Mizuki to top the zombie engine off, because Mizuki's just super good. He's in the grave, you can use him as much as you can, and then as soon as the last moment when you think you can't do a combo and he's in the grave, you remove him to special summon another zombie and can keep going off. Alright, so that's the zombie engine right there. Now we go into hand traps. I run a slew of hand traps just because I don't want my opponent to be able to do anything. So to top it all off, I got 3 effect Veilers, okay? Got 3 effect Veilers, then 3 max C, because this is a pretty big deck and there's a lot of monsters, but you really need to get your drawing going, and I don't want to lose to any kind of wind-ups or 6 Sams or anything like that. Alright, then we got 1 Battle Fader, because in last minute thing, you know, if you don't have anything going for you, and if you didn't have Battle Fader you would lose. Good thing I got Battle Fader, because yeah, he's just really good, stops OTKs. Then we run 1 DD Crow, because this guy catches people off guard, you know, going against Dark Worlds or something. You remove their Grapha and they're like, what the fuck, you run DD Crow? And you're like, yeah, I run DD Crow, and then they can't do shit. It's just really good like that. And then you can use it to, because you can put him into the grave, remove one of your opponent's monsters, and now you have a dark in the grave. If you want a dark that you want to like just toss out, remove it for like BLS or something, because I do run that. Then we run Sangan. This is like, I think he's a hand trap, just because like whenever he gets destroyed, you're pretty much gonna go into one of these to save your ass. You either gonna go, Graph is either gonna pop this guy, you're gonna go into DD Crow and remove Grapha, which is what happened to me. That's what I did. And then, or you're just gonna set this guy and then hope for the best. They're probably about to OTK you, like if you're playing Heretics or something, because they're a crazy OTK deck, and you go right into Battle Fader. Like, it's just crazy. Or you know, something happens and then you go into Max C or you go into Veiler, you stop them from going off. So those are the hand traps. So
do you only pick up the hand traps, or do you ever go to a blue-blooded Oni or something else with
yeah.
Like,
so,
do you go into Pyramid Turtle ever?
Yeah, so sometimes like I'll go into Pyramid Turtle, because if my opponent literally doesn't do that much and they have like, for example, like just like a Shien, and I know that I need to get over that thing, then I'll just, you know, pop this guy, and then I'll go into like a Pyramid Turtle so I can set up for next turn, and then go right into an Endless Decay, especially if it's the beginning of the duel.
Okay, and for the 3 max C, do those ever get cloggy? Like, do you ever regret not running, or running 3 instead of 1 or 2?
The max Cs, they can get cloggy sometimes, but like most of the time you're able to dish them just with Zombie Master. So Zombie Master is a good way to like be able to get rid of your unused cards and be able to special summon your new zombies.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So let's move on.
Yeah. Alright. And now we got the big boss hand traps. So we got Gores, 2 Trags right there. So these guys are also really good OTK stoppers. Obviously, Gores can turn the game around. You know, you win games off of him. Trag, he's super good in this deck because you can manipulate his level, and normally I just make him a level 4 so he can go along with my combo that it goes off. So sometimes I just drop him at the last minute, so make sure if that he doesn't die, just in case I don't have enough cards in my hand to make him a really good beat stick. And then I have options, so I can either take control of my opponent's monsters, or I can make him a level 4 and go off on a combo to get an extra level 4 onto the field. So that's really great.
What do you usually do? Do you usually manipulate the level, or do you take control of the monsters?
Normally it depends. If my opponent has like only like one card on the field, or let's say I summon Blue-Blooded Oni and then I Inferno Reckless because I run Inferno Reckless to get a combo off, and then he brings out a bunch of force, then I'll just I'll either make him, or I'll take control of a monster and then like do something with this guy, or I'll just make him a level 4 so that I can go off bigger. Because if he's a level 4, that means the more level 4s I have on the field, the better. But if it's a sticky situation and my opponent has like a level 5, then I have a dead Endless Decay in the hand, then I'll just send Endless Decay to the grave and like take control of my opponent. So like for 6 Hams essentially, because I play 6 Hams a lot, then I can literally dish in an Endless Decay and then take control over CN, and that's permanent. So that's why I think he's really good.
Great.
Yeah, and then I also run, obviously, like, Gores and the other guys. So if I ever, like, a dead card or, something like that, I drop Trag instead of Gores, and then I just use his effect to send him to the grave and take control of my opponent's monster.
Awesome.
So it's really good. Alright. Then, just because it stops a lot of decks, I run 2 Thunder King Ryos, because this guy stops summons, like BLS, any Exceeds, Synchros, or anything like that. And, obviously, my opponent can't search. So that's a really great thing, because if you're playing against windups or like spell books or anything that searches like crazy, all right, you play this guy and they can't do anything. Like especially spell books, like they're just stuck because they search for their spell books so much. I feel like almost every card searches for a spell book, so you got to have this guy in your deck, especially going into this new format because it's just crazy.
Awesome. So that's your tech of choice then?
Yeah, this is my tech of choice, Thunder King Ryo.
Very good.
Because he's also a light, so you can dump him into the grave, and then he's a target for BLS, which my Chaos engine is right here. You got Chaos Sorcerer and BLS, so those are my 2 Chaos monsters. So that's why you got the 3 Effect Railers, so Effect Railers and the DD Crow, and then the two Thunder Kings are lights. As well as a lot of the extra deck is light, so whenever you go into a combo, you just put a bunch of lights into your grave, so these guys are almost always live. Okay. So, and they're really good things. Obviously, this guy's a game winner, and this one's a game pretty much changer. So he can like bring the game back, and he's just freaking, I don't know, he's almost like an OTK by himself, I swear. Alright, then for the traps, I run 1 Torrential Tribute. I'm thinking about putting it up to 2 because I like it a lot. 2 Mirror Force. I love Mass Removal way better than just like Dimensional Prison or something because it gets rid of way more problems. And then I run 3 Call of the Haunteds, because this thing is really great to combo with any of your zombie monsters, Sangin, Goblin Zombie especially, and you can always bring back, if you bring out BLS or Chaos Sorcerer, with their effects or their summoning condition, you can always call the Haunted them, and then you just bring out like a big beater, or Thunder King Ryo, stop your opponent. Maybe you're gonna bring out Endless Decay at 4,000 still. It's super good, super good. Oops, yeah. And then my next card, as you probably just saw.
So that are all the traps?
Yeah, those are all the traps. It's not that trap heavy, but the traps really do make it run good.
Yeah.
And it really catches people off guard. So then my next card for spells are 3 MSTs, because these things are just crazy good, and you have to run them, especially since you're running zombies, and macro does hurt. Macro hurts like almost every deck, so every deck that can't run macro needs to run Mystical Space Typhoons. Like there's no, like, I don't see why no deck should not run MSTs,
yeah.
I feel.
And also for those new Firefists, right, against the spell tanky.
Exactly. So for the new Firefist, since a lot of their spells are continuous, if they activate them and then you MST, since continuous spell cards have to enable for their effects to resolve, they have to stay on the field until the end of the resolution. So if they activate it and then you MST it, they don't get their effects.
Awesome.
Alright, and then got the Heavy Storm, so 3 MSTs and Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, Dark Hole,
yep.
And Foolish Burial is a staple in this deck especially. This thing is almost never dead. Normally, you want to ditch Mizuki, but I mean, if Mizuki's already in your hand or already in the graveyard, literally there's no zombie that isn't dead with him. Like, you can send a Blue-Blooded Oni to the grave if you need to, or a Zombie Master, because if they're in your grave, you can always bring them back. And Pyramid Turtle, Mizuki, or even a Goblin Zombie is good in your grave. Just send it to the grave. Maybe you have a Call of the Haunted down, or a Book of Life, Monster Reborn. I don't even know, but they're always good. Or maybe you just need to send a Dark Period to the grave for a BLS. That's always good too. I mean, you could in this deck you could even freaking send Trago Edia into the grave and then be able to like Monster Reborn him or something, you know, just because you run the cards that you can do that with.
Great.
You know, it's just super good. All right, and then 3 Book of Lives, because this is a zombie deck. You obviously gonna run Book of Lives. So there's no reason why you shouldn't. I run 3 because then you get the option to remove your opponent's cards from play, like especially their main ones. So essentially, like I'm gonna use 6 Samurais a lot because I do play them a lot. So if you activate this and then their Shien is in the grave, then you can just banish Shien or the other one that makes it so you can only activate 1 spell per turn, because those things are just like really freaking like I don't know,
annoying.
You just need to get them out of the way because you don't want them coming back. So this thing gets rid of problems in your opponent's graveyard and then helps you get out your guys for combos. And then to help combo with the Book of Lives, or anything that actually reborns anything, so Zombie Master, Mizuki's Effect, Monster Reborn, Call of the Haunteds, you name it, you go Inferno Reckless. And there's a really great combo with this thing. You go Inferno Reckless on a Blue-Blooded Oni, you bring out all 3 Blue-Blooded Onis onto your field, and then Blue-Blooded Oni's effect is to detach an Exceed material that you control to special summon a zombie from your grave. So from there you just go off. You can check out that combo, I might show it to you. We'll see. And then to make sure that you can bring back anything with the Book of Lives, or let's say Zombie Master or anything like that, or your opponent's cards, I run 2 zombie rolls because these cards are absolutely needed. I run this because I think it's a really great card. Like literally, okay, you go against dragons, you shut like half their deck down and half their effects. So it may not hurt them entirely, but it hurts them somewhat. So it kind of like it's almost making them handicapped.
It's the same thing with those Firefists, right? That new archetype.
Yeah. So with the Firefist, they're all beasts and beast warriors. So all their effects are all beast warrior monsters gain like 600 attack or however much it is. It's like 100 or something. And then so since they're all zombies at that time, when you activate Zombie World, then all their spell and trap cards don't work anymore. They're like all their cards are dead essentially.
Awesome.
And then you can always take that back. You can use Zombie Master to take control of your opponent's monsters from their graveyard. Use them to exceed, so you don't have to use your own. So you still have zombie targets in the grave. So yeah, it's just really good. It stops Dino Rabbits, stops 6 Samurais because they always need a warrior, and it just stops a lot of decks that need like a certain type of monster.
Awesome.
So yeah, that was the zombie deck right there, and then
the extra deck.
For the extra deck, really quickly, go 1 Gemini Pearl, 1 Maestroke, 1 Photon Papilla, Parative, however you want to call that, or 2, I mean. 1 Utopia, 2 Utopias, my bad, and then 2 Rays, and then 1 Shock Master, 1 Violent de Sigma, one of the MVPs, 2 Shark Drakes. These guys are super good MVPs right there, wins me a lot of games, same with the Sigma. And then to top it all off, just in case, he's a really cool card, and I love this guy, number C32 Shark Drake Vice. He's my Matt guy, and he's won me some crazy games, alright, just because it was like nip and tuck, and I got him out, and he was the only way I was going to win.
Awesome.
It was great.
So who would you say is the Rainmaker in this deck? Who makes the difference? What wins you the game? What makes this deck good?
What makes this deck good is for surely, it's got to be like the zombie engine, and then obviously you have like your big beaters like BLS and Gores. Those are always good. But for the main engine, it's got to be Blue-Blooded Oni, Zombie Master. Mizuki's a given, but definitely these 2, and then especially with Inferno Reckless. Like Inferno Reckless is just so boss.
So these are the cards you need to have in a zombie deck in order to win the other huge archetypes like Wind-Ups and Murmur Atlantean and the Prophecies.
Yeah, if you don't run Blue-Blooded Oni, like if you don't run Blue-Blooded Oni, he's like the main guy. If you don't run Blue-Blooded Oni, like you have no way to like come back. And like minimum, you have to run at least 2 Blue-Blooded Onis. 3 is always better though, because if you don't run 3, then you can't go off with Inferno Reckless as well. So you're probably just gonna lose most of the time. So yeah, definitely if you're gonna be running a zombie deck in this format, you need to run the Blue-Blooded Oni for sure.
Okay.
No doubt about that one.
Well, guys, that was Cody, or TheCaiusRuler. He does have a YouTube channel. Link will be in the description below. And peace out, guys.